Hey everybody. So, closing a group session today. Didn't get my breakfast in. But, so there is 5 closing rituals I wanted y'all to look at when closing a group session. And also ending phase of group practice. So, here they are.
Just thinking. I know it's kind of a weird time, but I was just wondering what is going to happen to us on Monday. We're all together again. And I consider you guys my friends. I don't know. Yeah. So on Monday, what happens?
Are we still friends, you mean?
I'll be fine. I know what to do. Don't drink. Go to meetings. Find a sponsor. Ask for help. Don't drink. Meetings. Find a sponsor. Ask for help.
Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds if we're together? Just sing a song and breathe the sunny. And I hope you miss it.
You gonna continue it when you leave?
Yeah.
Well, I think my dad might freak. Have you told him how you feel? Not yet. But you will. I think so. Thank you.
So, I'll see you Thursday at 6, right?
My doctor said we can't choose where we come from, but we can choose where we go from there. I know it's not all the answers, but it was enough to start putting these pieces together.
Declared healthy and sent back into the world. My final diagnosis, a recovered borderline. What that means, I still don't know. Was I ever crazy? Maybe. Or maybe life is.
It's my last night tonight, Smitty.
It is your last night. I hate to break it to you, Craig, but I think I'm really gonna miss you.
Well, it's Bobby's last night too, so I was wondering if we could have a pizza party.
Yes, we can, yeah. Do you have the money? You can get the money.
Yeah, no, I'll have the money. Yeah, you have records you can bring?
Bomb.
90 meetings in 90 days. And ask for help. It's always there. Anything else? Just goodbye. Jeremiah was a bull frog. Was a good friend of mine. I never understood the difference between his sin, but I helped him drink his wine. And he always has a mighty fine mind. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls. Joy to the kisses and the people see. Joy to you and me. And I was the king of the world. I tell you what I
So,
You should probably stay longer. You might lose it on the outside.
I'll take my chances.
Come to you.
Okay, I know you're thinking, what is this? Kid spends a few days in the hospital and all his problems are cured? But I'm not. I know I'm not. I can tell this is just the beginning. I still need to face my homework, my school, my friends, my dad. But the difference between today and last Saturday is that for the first time in a while, I can look forward to the things I want to do in my life.
How you feeling?
I feel like I can handle it. Bike, eat, drink, talk, ride the subway, read maps, make art, finish the Gates application, tell my dad not to stress about it, hug my mom, kiss my little sister, kiss my dad, make out with Noelle, make out with her more, take her on a picnic, see a movie with her, see a movie with Aaron, heck, see a movie with Nia, have a party, tell people my story, volunteer at 3 North, help people like Bobby, like Mutada, like me. Draw a person, draw a naked person, draw Noelle naked, run, travel, swim, skip. Yeah, I know it's lame, but whatever, skip anyway. Breathe. Live.
Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. You see us as you want to see us. In the simplest terms, with the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain and an athlete
And a basket case, a princess.
and a criminal. Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, Breakfast Club.
So that's a few of them that was actually well made.
Everyone loves spreadsheets. Actually, they don't. But check this out.
And here's another couple that I found.
The closing process group is our final
So 5 rituals you could use.
Good morning. I am taking a risk and doing this while everyone in my house is awake, so hopefully I will not regret that, but we will take things as they come. I don't have a whole lot of time because I'm getting ready to go to school, but I wanted to answer a question that someone asked. I was sharing some things that I do in my last session of group counseling, and someone asked if I could give some ideas for some closing rituals for groups. So I wanted to tell you about 5 that I've done before with different grade levels. So a really simple closing ritual for some groups that have like some sort of group motto or group affirmation or something that you say together every week. Your closing ritual could just be to say it together again at the end of the group in unison. That's just like the way that you end. Nothing else happens after that. You say it together and then they're off. So that's one thing, a motto or an affirmation. Another one that I really like, especially for my younger grades, is something that we call leave your mark. And everybody just does like a thumbprint or a handprint and we make something out of it. So they're just leaving their mark, one last thing before they leave. And you can make like a bundle of balloons with their thumbprints, or you can make a flower with their thumbprints, like around a circle or something. And it's just something small that I can have in my office, and we don't put their names on it or anything like that. It's just something where they're leaving their mark, and it's something that I can keep and have as a little reminder of our group. Another one I really like is my hope for you, and this is something that I've done with older students, like middle grades. And at the end of the group, each student just takes turns saying, my hope for you is, and they say something for each person in the group. So it's usually like they know a lot of things about the people in their group and they've gotten really close, they know what they're working on or their struggles or things like that. So they can share what their hopes are for them moving forward in the group. And it's just something, it takes a lot of time. That's usually like a 10 or 15 minute closing ritual, but it's always so worth it to hear the words that they have for each other and see how they take those from their
It's Curtis, and thank you for joining me today. I've created this for my students in the graduate counseling program, but anybody else who benefits from it, thank you. Let me know with likes and subscribes, and also what else you would like to see. Working on a project now, and I'm going to try to get your feedback on it. I'll look through some of the previous videos. Feel free to comment. All right, termination in counseling and psychotherapy. The word termination has always been a little weird to me, but what we're talking about is when counseling is ending for a client. Now, for practicing professionals out there, this may not be as pertinent or relevant for what you need. A lot of times we have open door policies and people can come back when they need to. But for folks in practicum and internships, whether you're social work or counseling or psychology, marriage and family therapy, all the other helping behavioral health professions, this is what I teach for my students. So first, notify clients, whether you're working in a school or an agency, notify the client several sessions in advance that your last day will be on this week, okay? So whether it's December or May, so they know in advance that that's going to happen. And they're not surprised by, you showing up for a session and that's the last session. In the last session, a lot of times this isn't a time to go into new material or to continue processing major issues. You can allot some time for that. And it can be that, hey, I'd like to spend at least 15 minutes at the end to summarize what your counseling experience has been like and what you'll take away. Thinking back on our time together in this professional counseling relationship, what is sticking with you? What has made the biggest impact? Make them aware, make clients aware that if you see them in public, that you won't speak first, because you don't want to put them in an odd position that if you're in the grocery store and you say hello and they're with their kids or their partner or a friend or whatever, and then they've got to explain who you are. And I realize that almost goes against human nature. We see somebody we know, we want to say hello, but this is a case for in the profession where we need to allow the client to decide whether they're going to speak to us or not. I have seen this was years ago, seen a counselor of mine in a public place, and they just kind of gave me a nod. Okay, so there wasn't a big thing, and that kind of worked. I like to make people aware that we may not work together ever again. We may not even see each other again, but I know that I'll think about them at times and I'll wish them well. Okay? And I think it's appropriate to do that, and I don't know that I've ever forgotten a client before. They just tend to pop up in the consciousness, and I always kind of have my little special thing where I send light and hope that they're doing well. So it's okay to make them aware of that. It can be helpful to have a memento that you leave a client with. Now, in practicum and internship, this can be something you create together. Some type of, focus card or dream card that you kind of, scrapbook together, and it's just something simple. This isn't expensive or intensive, but just some symbols or images, from magazines you cut out to put on a little card or whatever. But it can be, and where you just kind of keep some stones or marbles or something as a signal that, hey, I just want you to have this to remember to be easy on yourself, to remember to breathe and be grounded when you need to dream, just something physical, just some type of physical memento. And particularly in practical internship, in professional private practice, maybe this isn't practiced as much. Always make sure that the client has referral and emergency numbers. So they're finishing counseling, but they need to know that they can always get help if they need it. And then lastly, just that particularly if this isn't class and you are a professional practicing psychotherapist, that you've got an open door policy and that they can always reschedule and come back in if needed. And, in kind of wellness counseling, I suspect this has increased, but it was that sessions, the average sessions for clients was about 4. Now, this isn't working with folks with disability and so forth, but that, kind of the worried well would come in for about 4 sessions, and then they'd get what they need, and then they would come back if they needed to, a year later or 6 months later. So just make people aware that you've got that policy. Okay, hope this is helpful. Hey, let's fill up YouTube with a lot of helpful stuff. Let's speak, post, and write about stuff we want, and maybe talk less about the stuff we don't want, so that we can just fill up this world with health and healing and thriving. All right, good people, take care. Talk to you soon.
Do you know that there are natural ways to overcome ADHD, autism, and other behavioral challenges?
So you see there is a few different opinions on how to finish up, and keep those in mind when you are finishing up. So all of the assignments are open. I'm giving you guys as long as you can to finish them. If you are requesting incomplete, just send like your email, student ID number, name of the class, section of the class, things of that nature, and we will get it all through for you. So see you all in a few weeks when the fall semester begins if you're coming in. So have a good one.